Oh my God. Yeah, get that shit. Yeah! Yeah! Oh my God!
One limited 5-star character.
What? We're gonna get her in 1 temple.
Oh, you know what? Just to drive through the insane, I will give him the blessing.
Oh, no way! No fucking way! There is no shot! My first roll! Mother, you and your... Then we go again. And Luna Flame. Over! He took ball? Ah! Yo! What the? This game is just so easy. Yeah!
I'm him. I am him.
You never play 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 again or any other 𝙀𝙓 game. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿, if the caster's change goes through, there's just no reason to play, right? And then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Do I really want to be, like, uptight about it? Do I really want to sweat it that much? No, not really. I mean, it's a game. I mean, I think it's okay to stop playing a game, but I think it's at the point now where there really is no return, right? And that's a change that cannot be fixed, right? And the change is so bad, there's not really any reason to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's fine. We enjoyed 𝙀𝙀𝙉𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙿 for what it is. If the change goes through, we don't play. If the change goes through, then it's what it is. But like, let's be real, from 3.3 to, 4.0, it's just gonna be more of the same. Introducing characters that are broken as shit. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe a significant combat change would be cool, but it just kind of is what it is. Pull this cookie, 10% building speed. Yeah. yeah. I think 𝙀𝙓, because they're losing money maintaining 4 gadgets, they have to go predatory. No. And the language that you're using is actually giving them sympathy. You think they're losing money maintaining 4 gachas? No. I promise you, the updates, the dev teams, all of the work that goes into a gacha is very minimum. Because not only are they running 4 gachas, they're also getting revenue from 4 separate facets. Okay? We can see how much money they're making, guys. They're making nearly 3 to 4 billion every single like year. And that's like a low ball estimate. Saying they have to go predatory is just entirely fucking cap. They have to go predatory? That makes no fucking sense. Now they're choosing to go predatory because they want to make more money. But there's a reason why 𝙀𝙗 has 6 fucking yachts. Okay, there's a reason why so many of the CEOs of 𝙀𝙓verse are billionaires right now. Okay, it's not coincidence. I wonder where that money's going. Okay, 𝙀𝙀's killing itself? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? The other, let's talk about the brass tacks here. The numbers are down, like really down, like super down. Genshin and 𝙀𝙀𝙉𝙉𝙉𝘿 both, analytics-wise for content creators. 𝙀𝙓𝙋 is at the lowest viewership he's ever been. 𝙀𝙓 is also the lowest it's ever been. And I'll be real, other than Mr. Pokey, I struggle to think of another like 𝙀𝙀𝙉𝙉𝙉𝙉𝙉 main content creator. That's like doing very well. I think Mr. Pokey might be the only one who's doing incredibly well. I suppose Brax. I suppose Brax. But I think there's a reason why Brax was talking about swapping to another game. Right? Except for when he hops on League. That's true. Mr. Pokey's League just needs to stop. It's just, 𝙀𝙀 down too. No, 𝙀𝙀's actually doing considerably well. It actually is doing considerably well, and I'm very, very, very happy about that. But yeah, 𝙀𝙀's doing great. But the problem is, my perspective might be skewed, because what I mean by that is my 𝙀𝙀 content is doing very well. Right? Like, for my standards, it's doing very well. But yeah, usually games that go down analytically, unless they have an insane allegiance to, I just wouldn't bother playing them. Like, for example, Limbus Company isn't doing excessively well. However, I enjoy the game enough to where I want to continue playing the game. And I am, and I mean this, I am going back to Limbus at a point. I just got a lot of other shit to do, but that is, we are going to be returning to Limbus at a point, 100%. All gotchas, end of service soon. Ain't that the way it feels, man? Ain't that the way it feels? It's like, what are the gotchas that are actually in a good spot? Probably like Limbus and Wuthering Waves right now. Zenless Zone Zero, I'm still incredibly worried about. Not because of anything in the game, but just because I know Hoyoverse runs it, which makes me always just think, when are they going to fuck it up? Man, these people really don't like Kuro games, man. There are just no good CCs for Woo-Wah. People who actually want to be drama-free CCs and cover cool stuff like lore, world building, and guides, not rewarded for their hard efforts. Those who have literally slop content. Cabinets literally just reacts to everything. All her videos are reactions to other vids. I will say, I do think there are a lot of smaller content creators who are trying to force to be reactors, but the reality is that nobody gives a fuck about their opinion, right? And they need to go back to making original content, farm a reputation for people to care about what they say, and then sure, they can try reacting. But the thing is that if you're below like 100,000 subs, you just shouldn't do it. Like, you might get lucky, sure. When people only think that they can react to a certain subgenre of a pre-existing subgenre, and they might do decent for now, it's not gonna last long term. It's just really just not. But yeah, I think there's way too many people trying to do what I do and just react. I really do. And I genuinely think there does need to be more content creators pushing out original content. I actually do believe that. Like, for example, like if Ludwig wants to say something, I'm interested. If Moist wants to say something, I'm interested. If Aswin wants to say something, I'm interested. But I think the problem is that a lot of people try to be reactors before anybody has a reason to give a fuck about their opinion. And I do think it is a massive misplay. And I do believe that it will only work due to the fact that it's in the gacha genre. But long term, it will not bear any fruit. And I do think it will fuck them long term, yeah. And I'm not saying any of this to shit talk. And the thing that really sucks about me is that I'm gonna say the uncomfortable truth, right? And people are it's gonna sound like I'm shit talking. But I'm only saying this to pose a question. And if me posing a question sounds like shit talking, well, that might be for a reason. So, for example, are we all ready? Because I'm gonna need you guys to engage with this, and I'm gonna need, because you guys are gonna feel like dicks just saying this too, okay? But I'm being genuinely real. I want you to give me an answer, okay? So let's talk about the reactor thing. Let's say Japan is having riots over Honkai Star Rail. Would you care about what Ryuku says? The answer is yes. Ryuku is the guy to go for the reactions to what's happening in Japan. Now, maybe you don't, but he at least has the tenure. You might not just like him, but if something were happening in Japan, I would go to Ryuku to understand what's going on because the guy speaks Japanese. I would care. Okay? I don't know who the fuck that is. That's fine. Okay? Now let's say something happens in Honkai Star Rail. Okay? Would I go to Mr. Pokey to see what his reaction is? Yes, as long as I wanted a positive react. I would. Now, if there was something bad that happened in Honkai Star Rail, no, I probably wouldn't care because I know Mr. Pokey is overly positively biased towards the game. Same thing with St. Tontas. If something bad were to happen in Woo-Wah, would I go to St. Tontas to see his reaction? No, I just wouldn't, right? Because I know he's gonna be overly biased, overly positive, absolutely. And it is what it is. They really like the game, that's fine. Because that's a specific subgenre in a subgenre, which is reaction to the content. This is his delivery style. This is what he does for the game. Okay? Now, let's talk about Mr. Pokey. Would I go to Mr. Pokey's reaction for the latest expansion in World of Warcraft? Yes. No. Absolutely not. No, I wouldn't. Because why the fuck would I care? Right? So, let's talk about St. Tontas' reaction. Would I want St. Tontas' reaction to Ananta? No, not particularly. It's not involving Woo-Wah, and he's the Woo-Wah guy, right? I mean, St. Tontas' gimmick is that he likes Woo-Wah and he hates every other fucking game, right? Now, let's talk about me, for example. Where have I built my credibility as a reactor? Anything that happens in the gacha space, I do believe that people would genuinely care what I have to say. Because I think that I've built a pretty good reputation of keeping it very fair on every single game. I think I've been pretty fair with that. I think people would also genuinely care for what happens in Asmongold Sphere what happens in the OTK sphere, because I've built a reputation in there. I am slowly trying to get people to give a fuck about my opinion in the anime space, but that's going to be a long-term process. I understand that people probably don't care as much as, let's say, a 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 or a 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 or the Anime Man or a 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝙃𝑉𝑎, right? But because I've built a audience in a very similar genre to anime, which is gacha video games, which is very entwined in anime and Japan culture, I'm hoping to slowly build that rapport. Because you have bad takes. And the thing is, in anime, it's impossible to only have good takes. It is. That's the reason why it's called the Trash Taste Podcast, not the Impeccable Taste Podcast, right? Because in anime, if you don't like everything that somebody else likes, or if you like something that someone doesn't like, they're gonna say you have bad takes. Now, realistically, for my perspective, I can only tell you what I like. And I think I've been relatively consistent for what I like and what I don't like in anime, right? But there's no way to just have good takes in anime. It's just simply not possible, right? But becoming impeccable taste, exactly. Right? I mean, guys, you gotta understand, there are people who would say me saying Vinland Saga is a great anime is just wrong, right? There are people that would say that. There are people that would tell you that Boku no Pico, pausing this because it might get clipped, pausing. There are people who would say that that anime is peak. There would be people who said that, right? So that's a very fickle community. And I'll be real, the anime community is like, it's full of fucking retards, guys, let's be real. I mean, the amount of dumb fucks in the anime and the gacha community is fucking insane, right? I mean, the amount of pedophile copers in that community are fucking nuts, right? Let's just be real. Yeah, there are people who say Berserk is dog shit. Yeah, absolutely. But just kind of building that rapport, I think, is like super important. And I think I've done a pretty well job at that so far. I do. I really do. The Venn diagram of retards, yeah, absolutely, man. A lot of overlap, yeah. I think when you're a content creator and you're not cognizant of what people think of you, I think it's not good. I do. And I think it's important to understand the age-old question, why would anybody give a fuck about what I think? Because I do believe that to be a content creator, you have to have a certain degree of ego, a certain degree of narcissism, to actually have the mindset that, yeah, people are gonna care what I say, especially when you haven't built up any reason for them to believe that. Do people actually give a fuck about what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people have stunted their growth. I wanna give you a great example. Let me give you a great example on someone who's doing it right. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 is absolutely slaughtering in this field. Absolutely slaughtering. And do you want to know who 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘍, in my opinion, is falling in the footstep of? That's why I know 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙉 will have... 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙉 will probably get 1 million subs on YouTube quicker than I will. 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙉, in my opinion, is a new version of Mugen. I do. And I think they're following in very good footsteps. And I'm very proud of 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝙉 because they're very kind, they're very sweet. I think they're a great person. But I think when you go look at other people's content, you're gonna see that it's gonna lead to a dead end. Because they're trying to force a meta that nobody gives a fuck about. It's like, for example, and I wanna make this very clear. I go live and I just play Monster Hunter. I'm not breaking 2,000 viewers. I'll have 80% of the viewers that I normally have. There's a reason why I go live to just chatting in video games. Absolutely. Because I know people are here to see me react to shit and play gacha games. There's a reason why I do it at the end of my fucking stream, right? Is what it is. I love the fucking game and I'm down to force that content, but I'm not gonna do it long term, right? I'm not gonna do it long term, is what it is. Yeah, it makes sense wanting people to listen to people who have direct knowledge based on the topic. Yeah, so I do agree with that Reddit post. I do think there are far too many reactors. And I do think it's not good for this space Because if everybody's reacting, well, saturates the area. It does. It saturates all the content. Whereas, and it also kills channels, right? My channel will be fine because I'm the biggest one, right? And I think I have more tenure for why people give a fuck about what I say than somebody else. And these other creators, I do think they're fucking themselves by not making original content because, guys, before I was a reactor, I did 5.5 years of making original content. I want to remind you this, guys. 5 years of original content, right? This was the reason why people came to actually give a fuck about my opinion, because I ingrained myself in the fucking culture, right? But yeah, I do think that a lot of people are going to end up servicing their own channel. I think they're already struggling to survive. And I do think that they're playing pretend more than actually making a name for themselves. And it sucks because I would love to have these conversations with them. But the reality is that sometimes the truth really fucking hurts, right? But yeah, I've been doing this for a fucking while. Is VXV an example of that? Yeah, I would say V is an example of that, 100%. Right? I mean, I think it's good when the creators react sometime, but yeah, I think V's a good example of that. I think Kate's a good example of that. Yeah. But yeah, let's keep going. And there's still more, by the way. I mean, the amount of videos I've made is fucking insane. The best thing you did was not being stuck in one category. Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. But yeah, I mean, this is what you kind of have to do to build up that rapport. Quick off-topic question I need to know. How much better is the reading experience versus the deluxe Vinland Sagas over the normal? Dude, the deluxe Vinland Sagas are so much better. It's fucking insane.